Alright, so sadly, the audio once again didn't really work out there. So I have to commentate this one live, or at the after the fact, of course. So we started off with d4. We were white, and yeah, my opponent proceeded to play the Horowitz defense, which I think is horrible to play against. Yeah, so you get a pretty standard opening. Here he plays the knight out, so that gives us the chance to push our c-pawn. He pre-moved this knight, so he was very sure of himself. And I think that will also be the downfall of our friend here from Egypt, is that he's a little too sure of himself. He's very aggressive in his style of play. As you will see now, with 3 pieces developed, he's gonna go on the attack right away, actually. So he's thinking he moves his knight here, going for that attack. So I have to bring my rook in, obviously, because yeah, I need to defend that situation over there. But that gives me a chance to bring my rook to a more active square, so it's not the end of the world. You know, looking for some future prospects. Here you can really see how aggressive he is. Just going full ballistic mode, g5. So I'm contemplating what to do. I decide to slide back my bishop, and you know, if he takes with the knight, I can take with the h-pawn. So I feel confident there. But now I'm starting. He's really, you know, cranking up the heat. He's going f5. So I'm thinking, wait a minute. f5, that opens up the king. Maybe we can get some sort of check going with the queen, and you know, get that king running, because you know, we like to see a king on the run. So there's that. Now, obviously here I go for the knight. So I get my knight out of the way to bring that queen out. Here I was thinking maybe he was onto me, like closing the gap. Well, this is great. Now I have the bishop attacking the rook. So he has to move the rook, or he will lose the rook, which is also fine. But I can come in with that check. So yeah, there's that. So right now I got the feeling, okay, this is gonna be a win. This is gonna be a win because yeah, I'm just right now I'm cruising. The king is on the run. Where can he go? Check. He has to block with the bishop. So I'm thinking, wow, maybe he can trap my queen somehow. So I spent some time, you know, making sure, calculating that he doesn't trap my queen. Obviously, if he would threaten my queen with the rook, I have the bishop as support. So in the end, I decide that it's safe. It's a safe bet. I can rest assured. Be rest assured that I will win this game. You know, maybe taking when I look back on it, maybe I should have taken now with the c-pawn, and then if he takes back, I can take it with the knight, putting some extra pressure on that bishop. So there were a lot of options here, but in the end I just decided to you know, finish up development, get my king castled, so I could be really safe with my attack. So yeah, here I go, I castle, I contemplate, but in the end I do decide. And now I feel like, okay, well, that knight in the center of the board is really, really annoying. So let's get rid of it. And let's try to open up the board here and maybe see if we can get that king out in the open, get him exposed, and yeah. See if we can deliver that deadly checkmate. You know, we all like to deliver deadly checkmates. Diddly checkmates. Maybe I should have put my rook behind on the d-file. I don't know if I did that. That's the sound of the alarm. Don't worry, I'm not in war. I'm in the Netherlands. We always have the alarm going off at 12 to test, if it's still operational. But I think this is what my opponent might have heard while he was playing this game, because things are looking pretty bad. It's just not how you want the game to go. So I have to take some time. Which pawn should I take? There. So I decide to take here. He takes my pawn. So I have to move my bishop. Which sucks. And now I gotta give credit to my opponent here, because he realized, okay, my king is in a bad spot. Maybe I should. Looking back, I really had the option to just pull back h3, for example. But I decided to trade. Now looking back on it, I really shouldn't have done that. That was dumb. Should have kept my queen on the board, especially with his king exposed like that. I mean, he did sort of neutralize the biggest threat right now. So, yeah. I had to get my other pieces involved somehow. And my friend from Egypt still is thinking about offense, which is, of course it's good. You should always be thinking about offense, but you should also be mindful of the fact that, you might get a little too greedy. You might get a little careless, and things could go south. So here I'm thinking about doubling up the rooks. So yeah, here he goes. He's got his rook and his bishop looking at my h-pawn. So I'm thinking, how should I neutralize that? How should I didn't want to push my h-pawn because I just felt like then he would play g4. So I thought, okay, let's play g3 ourselves. That should do it for now. Okay, so that he moves his bishop to attack my pawn, which is already defended, so I don't really mind. I double up the rooks on that bishop. A free bishop is always nice. I mean, who doesn't like a free bishop? So he moves the king out of the way, so it adds the rook as the defender of the bishop. Very intelligent move. Highbrow move here for my opponents. So I'm thinking maybe I should move my bishop there, attack the rook, but I noticed that would obviously just walk into trouble. So after a long moment, I decide to play b4. What's wrong with b4? Taking up some more space, putting some more pressure on all those pieces. What could go wrong? And now here, I'm like, oh wait, shit. He's putting another attacker on my h-pawn, but he forgets that my bishop is there. And now his whole position falls apart because he takes and removes the defender of the bishop And so I see, free bishop. That bishop is mine. And yeah. To forfeit the game. So here I spend time thinking, okay, I'm almost there, 1500s. We're on the way back. Let's just play one more game. What could go wrong? And then introduce Dodo Woods International. So that's at least what his profile says, so I don't really know where he's from. But I'm guessing maybe Russia. So he plays a hillbilly attack against my Caro-Kann. Now I gotta say, I'm not too impressed with how he played the opening. But yeah, there's gonna be some moments that are. There is gonna be a moment where you're like, okay, this is very suspicious, to say the least. So we get our pieces developed. So far everything's looking great. I love this position, to play this position. I'm very comfortable with it. So I offer an exchange of bishops, and if he takes, then my queen gets more involved. See, for example, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The trading for the trading is like, it tells me a lot about who you are, where you are at as a player, what your understanding is of the game. But yeah, maybe he was just thinking that's the best move, but I don't think it's a great move to just trade to trade. Here he defends his pawn with his other pawn. So here I'm thinking, wait, what if he takes my knight? Because he already showed that he doesn't mind trading. What if he takes my knight and I get my pawn there and we get some sort of attack going on that pinned knight? And now here again, obviously, so I'm thinking, I think that this is also not a great move by me, but my way of thinking is that I take his knight, and he has to move backwards with his knight. So basically, losing momentum forward. And if he takes with the queen, well, then I can take his knight, opening up the king. Now, I would play knight back here, because I don't want my king to, to be exposed. But he takes with the queen. Instantly takes back with the pawn here. So yeah. So all in all, I mean, just this position is. I would evaluate it as being in my favor. So I move the knight back. Obviously, I feel like this is where it's gonna happen now. He's gonna go ballistic mode on my my king. So I move the knight back. And I'm thinking here, and maybe I should put my queen there, get the queens off the board, and try to win the endgame with a better pawn structure. And maybe that would have been the right call. Now I play the move knight to f4 to try and trade off the bishop, because just don't want that bishop there in the endgame. But apparently that's a huge mistake. Now for me, at this moment, it's totally not clear why it's a huge mistake, but to my friend Dodo Woods, it doesn't take him very long to realize why this is a big mistake. So he thinks, and he plays the great move, rook to g4. Now I should have played my knight back, but I was just thinking, okay, well. And immediately he plays the brilliant move. It's a brilliant move, eh? 2 seconds. Rook to g7. Now I'm thinking, oh my god. He played that move instantaneously. I mean, there's got to be something here. Now, obviously, mate is already guaranteed. So, I mean, I'm calculating here, but there's nothing I can do really. So, yeah, I might as well just have resigned at this point. Thinking maybe I can take the rook and escape, but as you can see, he's got the whole shabam pre-moved. So he already saw all these lines in his head. Maybe he's just very good at like checkmate patterns. I don't know. So if I move my king to g8, then the rook can deliver mate. There's really nothing you can do about that. So yeah. So at this point, I'm like, okay, yeah, time to resign. This is hopeless. But yeah, what a combo, eh? So first getting the knight out of the way, then immediately sacrificing. So I hope at some point that I will be able to think that fast, that far ahead. You know, that would be great. Yeah. So yeah, maybe just a great play by him. First a very. Then a little looky at his profile, and we got a glimpse of yeah, his profile is now almost a year old, and yeah, he had a substantial rating climb the last few months, last 2 months, and yeah, some games on his profile which he forfeited after a few moves. Just after 5 moves, for example, without any reason. So that's always a bit of a red flag when you forfeit moves after 8 moves, for example, or 12 moves. 5 moves there at the bottom. Yeah. So maybe he just had to run at those games that he forfeited after a few moves, or maybe. There's something else at play here. I should at least say that I find it a wee bit suspicious. But yeah, I mean, if maybe he's just very strong at checkmate patterns. He played like a 2100s. Now I'm not accusing anyone here, but does check some boxes. So here we have the analysis. Now here you see this is a miss. This is a great, huh? And then... So the best move would have been knight back. But the rook sacrifices are brilliant, which he played in 2 seconds. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, if I go for a rook sacrifice, I usually tend to think a bit longer than 2 seconds. But so he blocked our road to 1500. If we would have won this game, we would have been 1500. But that's the way it is. We'll get it next time. And GG to Dodo Wood. The road to 2000 continues.